welcome to How's Your ePresence? This show is produced by ePresence, and I am Mark Galvin, the president and founder of that firm. We're glad you're here to discover new ways to solve marketing issues. We want to answer the burning questions that you may have about digital marketing and honestly, marketing in general. So every show is teed up with a how do I fill in the blank, right? So here's some examples of past shows. Ways that let me rephrase that. How would you like to promote your business on social media? Would you like to know how to improve your SEO strategy for your company? How about, would you like to know how to build a Facebook ad audience? What we do is build answers to those questions. So today we're going to answer a question for you. You got to stay tuned, and I'll tell you what that is in a second. Here's a gig. We are great at identifying guests and topics, but we would love to hear if you would like for us to discuss a certain topic. You name it. We would love to answer those questions. So respond right on this channel. You can hit right there at the bottom somewhere. Just go ahead and plug in your little notes. We would be happy to respond to those and go find a guest that could do that. Maybe you're a guest that can speak to a specific topic. Whatever that case is, please, please, please send us a note. We would love to answer those questions. If you're tuning in live, throw us a question for our guests. We will answer it live. We love interactions. So ask anything, whatever you want. We'd be happy to respond to that. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about branding. We're going to talk about logos and brand design. We're going to talk about something called a brand guide book. What does that mean? I don't know. We're going to find out. Brand recognition is so important. How do you know if you should update it? How do you know if it's working for you? All of those great things. We're going to get into that. Now, in the future, if you want to find one of our shows like today, you want to know more about branding, what we want you to do is go in and type in ePresence, how to manage brand design, and you'll be able to track us down. So one of the other things that's important is we always do these shows live. So we run them live on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. So you got a notification. If you saw this, you're joining us because you got that notification, and that's because you are subscribed. Thank you very much. If you're not subscribed and you'd like to hear about us going live and you'd like to ask us a question when we go live, go ahead and subscribe. Follow us or subscribe, especially on YouTube if you would subscribe. And I think I did it right. It's on this side. So hit that button down there. You'll find the subscribe button. We need to grow our followers on YouTube. So please hit that subscribe button and you'll get notified when we are running something new. In the past, we've been talking a lot about the webinars that we're running. We're still running them. I'm just not going to make a big deal at the beginning of the show. So there's a banner that Eric's going to slap there at the bottom of the page. There it is. Follow that link and you can sign up for our LinkedIn profile management program. It's an hour long. We have no more than 10 people in a session. Lately, there's been fewer because I think that a lot of people have already been helped. They don't need that. So join us. Love to help you. Well, let's get on with the show. What do you think? I think it's time to get rolling. And today we've got just a fantastic guest. So let's meet that guest, Cassie Hanuscak. Cassie, where are you? There you are. Hey, Cassie, how are you?
I'm good today. How are you?
Outstanding. So did I say your last name right? Is it Hanuscak?
Close. Hanuscak.
Okay. Say that one more time.
Hanuscak.
Oh, wow. So you get that S in there. Hanuscak.
Close.
I didn't do it right today.
That works.
I'm guessing you have a few people that struggle with your name. I'm just guessing.
Everyone except my son. My 5-year-old says it the best.
I love that. Well, as he should. Well, your organization is Caslyn Branding and Design, and you are a graphic designer. Is that right?
I am. I am a graphic designer. I'm the owner of the company, and I specialize in brand design.
Brand design. And you've been doing this a little while. You've been in the business for what, 12 years? Is that right?
A little over a decade. That's right.
Unbelievable. Fantastic. So you focus on clients that are startups. You work with nonprofits. You're also, heck, it sounds like you've done large corporation work. And you graduated from one of those places in Atlanta, super important, and it's SCAD. What does SCAD mean?
So I went to Savannah College of Art and Design, and I actually went to the Savannah campus. The Atlanta campus was brand new when I first started going to school.
Oh,
They're a private college, and they are responsible for building and maintaining most of the downtown Savannah Historic District.
Wow. Wow. So for those of you that haven't, if you haven't heard of SCAD, it's one of the premier graphic designs, art, and I'm sure, and Cassie, I'm probably not giving them really enough credit. They are the place, if you're going to go into a space where you need to learn the techniques, the technologies, whatever that is. I think they have a whole division that focus on even gaming and stuff like that. So that, great place to go. Congratulations for graduating from there. That is really notable. So you should be very proud. I asked you to come on the show because you understand branding and logos and all that stuff. So I kind of want to chat about that. Are you good with that?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Awesome. All right. So let's start off with here. What is the difference between logo design and brand design?
So a logo is simply defined as a symbol. It's text and images that is used to define a company. A brand is essentially what your customers think of you. So when most people think of a brand, the first thing that comes to mind is a logo. And while a logo is a key brand element, there's so much more to a brand than just a logo. Your brand identity includes every single touch point your customers have with your organization, your website, your menu or your product packaging, your ad campaigns, your social media accounts, and all the intangible elements as well. So your brand is your customer's overall impression of your business.
Got it. All right.
What matters?
Yeah, go ahead. Why? Yeah. What?
Have you seen The Good Place? Can we talk about that for a minute?
Yes, please.
Do you know what The Good Place is? Do you know the Janet-like void?
No.
So there's this white void where Janet lives in The Good Place. And why the difference between a logo and your brand design matters is because your customers don't experience your company in that big white Janet-like void. Your logo is just not floating in space. They experience your brand. And without the brand, the logo wouldn't have any real meaning.
So the question is, I mean, to me, this is fascinating. If I'm going to come up with a logo, I mean, and I guess people think logo first, right? If I'm going to start to develop a brand, they probably think the logo. Is that the right way to go?
You usually want to start with your brand messaging, what you're going to stand for, what you are going to express to your clients, because the logo has to convey that. The logo will take that intangible element and make it visual.
Interesting. So you really got to step back, and this is something we talk about here all the time, and that is know who your audience is, right? Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, sometimes people are going to start a company and they don't know who their audience is. They're not there yet. So, but they still have to make some assumptions to come up with any type of brand design. When someone is brand new and they don't really know who their audience is that a big issue when you start developing a logo? And I may be jumping ahead, but how do you work through those changes, those struggles that you may have? It's like all of a sudden, wow, you know what? I've decided I'm going to market to kids and not to adults. Now that's a major change, right? But still, when do you find that organizations say it's time to change our brand? Am I crazy? Is this a real issue or not?
Well, if you already have a brand and you are changing your messaging or you're changing your target audience, then yeah, it's time to update your brand. If your logo isn't functional, if it's not fitting into your website header, if that's the primary use, it's at the very least time for an alternate logo design, a vertical or horizontal. But if your logo is looking out of place, your marketing materials evolve over time, your brand alignment is a bit erratic and unclear, it's definitely time to work on your brand alignment too.
It's just interesting. So, and our logo's right there on the screen. So this is an interesting point. One of the things that we did is our target audience is corporate, business people, business owners. And so our colors are subdued for that reason. We're not interested. And here's something else. There's a lot of social media management firms that have a lot of reds and oranges in their logos. We wanted people to know that we are the measured version of social media. We want results. We just don't want to be loud. And so that's one of the things that was important on our brand. It seems to be working. we'll find, but that is part of that process. And we went through the same sort of thing. I think that's fascinating. All right. So logo design is important. Brand is really that larger piece. Let me ask you this. There's something that you have that we have in our notes that is called a brand guide book. How important is that when you've done all the work and you've got your brand design in place and your logo? What is that? What do I do with this? Why do I need this?
So a brand book defines your brand in entirety. It can start with your messaging, but it includes your logo, your color palette, your typography, your image style, and supporting graphic elements, because it's vital that your brand identity is consistent. Companies with consistent branding can expect to earn up to 23% more in annual revenue than brands that are inconsistent. And when you have it all defined in this brand book, it doesn't matter if your staff is working on an email campaign or if you have a different firm working on a billboard. They have that rule book in their hands to keep your brand consistent.
So, and this, I think we just ran into this recently. We're doing some different work on social, and one of our team members came up with a great idea, was adding some great graphics, and the colors were off. But I don't have a brand book in place. And so that could have solved that sort of thing. It can also save a lot of time and angst, I'm guessing.
Oh, absolutely.
So is that something that you can do? Do you develop logos and then come up with the brand guidebook? And is that part of the whole way that you attack logos?
Yeah, we always start with the end brand in mind, with the big picture. We start with asking why, but we are building your brand. We don't just do logos. We never have just a logo on our price sheet.
Yeah, right. Good. And so give me some of the other things that are important with the brand. What other elements should someone consider?
Okay, so if you have a logo and you need some additional touch points, it really depends on what industry you're in. Business cards, social media graphics, and print ads pretty much apply across the board, but nonprofits would need letterheads, t-shirts, annual reports. Annual reports are really one of the best tools they can use to reach their supporters. Restaurants would need signage, menus. If they really want the immersive experience, which is what clients have come to expect, they're going to want custom designed bar napkins, coasters, to-go bags, product packaging. Every one of these touch points really affects how customers perceive and recall your brand, and they should all be cohesive.
Wow. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. All right. So can you give me some examples of some successful brand recognition, some brands that, that I probably recognize, but I don't realize I recognize?
Sure. Okay, I have a little visual set up for you, a game of sorts if you're game. So let's pull that up.
All right.
One of the most notable examples is the Nike swoosh. It's the checkmark shape everyone knows and whose name alone, you think of athletes just whizzing past when you say it, the swoosh.
Right.
It's fluid and it indicates movement and speed and resembles a wing when you turn it on the side. And I don't know how many of you know this, but Nike is the Greek goddess of victory. That's where Nike got its name from. So because the swoosh is so different from every other shape in the industry, it has become highly recognizable, highly successful. And it has only been redesigned just twice, and just the fonts. So the swoosh itself was designed in 1971. The font was updated in 78 to a bold font that displayed their strength and their boldness in the industry. But by 1995, Nike was able to drop their name altogether, and they are known simply for that one icon.
That is awesome.
It's incredible. After 25 years, that simple swoosh has become so iconic that it needs no other introduction or explanation. And that kind of consistency is every brand's goal.
Yeah, that is really awesome. What did you say that when you turn it sideways, it looks like what?
A wing.
A wing. Oh, okay.
Curve.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one side of a wing from the goddess of victory.
That is very cool. Yeah, it's sort of like the artist formerly known as Prince, right? He became so iconic he was able to do that. I think that's phenomenal. Well, that is really cool. Do you have some colors you want to get into?
Yeah, so one of my other favorite examples is color. Color is it has the unique ability to communicate feelings immediately and offer the kind of brand recognition that every brand strives for.
Right.
It increases brand recognition up to 80% alone. So let's go ahead and change the slide. I have a few examples for you. Without seeing the logo, can you tell what this brand is just from these two colors alone?
I cheated.
I know you saw this one when we started.
I did cheat on this one. Eric, did you cheat? Do you know what this one is? Eric in the back. I guess we could see him talking in the background. I think it's McDonald's.
So 84% of consumers can identify this as McDonald's just from those colors. Okay, let's go on to the next one because I don't think you saw this one before we started.
Huh.
Here, I'll give you a little hint if you need a little hint.
Oh, you're drinking coffee. This is Starbucks.
Yes, 80% can get this correct as Starbucks.
Oh, that is so cool.
All right, we got 3 more. Let's try the next one.
Well, that's a lot of colors.
It is. They have 4 colors that they use a lot in their branding. Blue is the primary one, but you usually see all 4 of these together. It is a digital company.
Is it Google?
Yes, this is Google.
Wow.
91% of people can identify Google based on their colors alone. Now, this
Isn't that crazy?
the next one might be a little harder. I think most women can nail this one right off the bat. And men, if you're married, maybe.
Shoot.
Is
it that women's clothing company?
It's a jewelry brand.
Oh, I have no clue.
Go ahead and change the slide. This is Tiffany.
Oh, it's Tiffany. I got stuff for theirs here. Yeah.
Okay, now one more.
One more.
One more.
All right, give me a hint.
So most people can identify the company this sandwich came from just by seeing these colors on the wrapper.
I don't know.
Subway.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, of course. Duh. Hold on. Go back. Oh, it makes total sense. Absolutely.
68% of people in the survey can identify those colors as Subway.
Unbelievable. Are there more? This is fun.
Nope. That's it. That's good. So color can increase your brand recognition and getting to the point where people know your brand, not even from your logo, not even from your type, just from that color, like Coca-Cola. People can know a can of Coke just from that red. That
red is unique to Coke, yeah. And so growing up in Atlanta, Coke is ubiquitous. So yeah, I would recognize the Coke brand. Cool. So let's see. So if I have a logo and I started developing my brand, what are some additional touch points can you, Caslyn Branding and Design, what can you create that further develops a brand?
So we talked about that a little bit. So basically we focus primarily in print. So anything that your customers need that can be printed, we can do for you. So, a real estate agency, that might be a large format billboard, that might be their one sheet design for each listing, while an engineering firm might focus on trade show displays and project proposals. Each one of those touch points help build your brand identity, and we're there to help manage that for you.
Wow, that's a lot. So it is difficult if I'm not an expert in this to do this on my own. It really is hard because you've mentioned a lot of things that I would not have thought of. And like, for example, you said earlier on that I need a brand soap, right? Soap may be something I need to have branded if I'm in a hotel. And I need to make sure my brand looks good on a small piece of soap. So if my brand is wild and large, well, I guess they could put part of the brand on there and cut off the other side, but that's part of the brand design. It still has to be recognizable. For example, the Subway logo that we had talked about, that we looked at, that wouldn't look so good on a bar of soap, right? They'd probably have to abbreviate the SW or something. I don't know, but those are things that you tease out early on, and that organizations need to be thoughtful enough to say, okay, where are all the places that we're going to need to put our brand? And that's unbelievable, quite frankly. What do you find is what's the biggest mistake people make that you've seen on brands? What are the things like, yeah, that didn't work?
Well, using the wrong font for one. Fonts
Okay.
have a voice. We can go back to the Nike example that we had up a few minutes ago. They started with a kind of cursive script font, which worked in the beginning for them. But as they build their brand, they became bold and known for pioneering in the industry. So they needed a bold font to go with that. That cursive lowercase script no longer worked for them. So choosing the right font is imperative. Choosing the right colors, for instance, that's important. Definitely knowing the way your logo is going to be used the most is important. So you can nail down the functionality. If you have a website header that is horizontal, you need to focus on a horizontal logo. And like you said with Subway, it's long and horizontal. The sub sandwich is long and horizontal. If that was on a round hamburger, that wouldn't quite land the same.
What about colors? How do you determine what colors are best for a logo?
So color, there's a whole psychology behind colors. Every color has a meaning. You mentioned that you guys are known for your blue colors, and blue is one of the most popular colors in the corporate industry. It's associated with integrity and trust. Restaurants use a lot of red. I mean, when you think of red, it could mean one thing, but when you put it with another color, it can mean another thing. When you think red and green, you think festive and Christmas. But when you think of just green, you think money and financial industry.
Huh. Interesting. Is that why Starbucks is green?
You know, it could be. I haven't thought about that.
Could have been a connection there. I think that's fascinating. And the tip out of this that I'm getting is it's really good idea to talk to somebody that understands design instead of trying to do it on your own. That's what I'm getting out of this, because you can make a huge investment in your brand, and going in and trying to update it is expensive. I remember this. So I used to work for Hyatt Hotels, and back in the it was a long time ago. I'm not going to give you a date. They used to have an H that looked like a flower, and they had to change that. In fact, we called it the bug when we worked there. Maybe that's why they changed it. And then they moved to the script of Hyatt with a crescent across the A, and they changed that crescent's color to represent the sun setting, the sun rising, the moon, depending on the destination. And they've since updated it again. That's a lot of money to change that brand everywhere. So if you can get your brand right for the longest amount of time, that's going to save you money.
Absolutely. Logo redesign is something that most business owners would like to avoid, because it means having to change all of that. And I get that, but sticking with a logo that doesn't work for your brand is also a massive waste of great opportunity to boost your business. So getting it out the door, like you said, it's the way to go.
Bravo. So is there anything that we haven't talked about that we should have hit? I think we really did a good job of hitting all this.
Yeah. I think we covered it.
I love that. Well, I would like for you, tell us where people can find you.
Okay, so our website is caslynbd.com, and there is a Facebook page as well, Caslyn BD. You can follow that for updates.
Awesome. Well, very cool. Very, very cool. Well, Cassie, I'm so glad that you were here today. I loved what you shared. I think this stuff is fascinating. In fact, I could probably sit around and tease around logos and look at what you were sharing and say, what about that logo? And even critique some logos that I think are really bad, because I think there's some really bad ones. But this is awesome. Thank you for being here today. And I hope to talk to you soon. And if we ever need to change our logo, maybe we do it here on the show and we do it live. Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
Well, it's a process. It takes time. I think everybody would end up falling asleep there.
That's probably true. Okay. All right. We won't do that then. Well, anyway, Cassie, thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thanks. Bye, Mark.
Thank you. For the rest of you folks, just a reminder, we continue with that webinar. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, We have two versions. We have a entry level and we also have a second level. So we'll take care of your profile and then we'll show you how to activate that profile. How do you connect to your audience? How do you grow your audience? How do you interface with people on LinkedIn? So important. Right there on the screen, you can see the link to join us at our discount amount, because if you are watching this show, I want you to get the discount of $37.50. So click that. Well, you actually can't click it, but type in e-pr.me/discount and you can see all the great offerings. You can pick a date, you can reserve your spot. All that is right there at that link. Go ahead and grab that whenever you can. Thanks for joining us on How's Your ePresence. If you're curious about our company ePresence, this is what we do. We're a full service social media agency. We manage personal, company, and collegiate social media. That means we can clean up the solopreneur, we can clean up the CEOs and the entire C-suite's personal social media and their teams. We can also drive company social media accounts. We're looking for dentists right now. Dentists need to connect with their local community. You can do that right online. So if you know a dentist, when you go to get your teeth cleaned, ask them, do you want more patients? Then they should give us a call. We can help them connect with more patients. You can give us a buzz at 404-939-8094 or just go to our website. And we are offering a discount for folks watching this show at ePresence.me/how's your ePresence. That's ePresence.me/how's your ePresence. And you can take advantage of that 5% discount. All right, folks. How's Your ePresence is everywhere. You can catch us live on YouTube, Facebook, and you don't forget to subscribe. So hitting that button right there, hit that button to subscribe wherever you're watching, especially on YouTube. This helps us out more than you know. If you're a podcast listener, you can catch us on Google Play, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, even your Amazon Echo. So you could have us playing in your kitchen. We had content all the time, so you can stay up to date on all things business and social media. So be sure to add us to your app, or you can always go to our website, ePresence.me. That's ePresence.me to catch any of our current shows. I want to thank our producer, our director of animation, our general handyman, Eric Welch, who's right there in the background. He's also our director of social media. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate all the work that you do for us and make this show go well. Until next time, for my guest, Cassie Hanuscak, I'm Mark Galvin, and this has been How's Your ePresence?